Hey guys, thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Felicia from SweetGeorgia Yarns, and we're a hand-dyed knitting yarn company based in Vancouver in Canada. We've been dyeing yarn since about 2005. We dye yarn, we dye fiber, we make knitting patterns, multiple collections a year. We've been doing this for a long time. And this video is special because I'm kind of bringing you in behind the scenes to what happens before a season actually starts. When we're preparing for fall, we're actually preparing many months in advance in order so that yarns and colors and patterns and everything is ready in the season when it needs to be ready. Now, you can see this humongous bag down here is chock-a-block full of yarns. These yarns are in this bag are yarns that we are evaluating and considering for next spring. So it is June right now, and we're already working on what's going to come out next March. So we do have to work quite a number of months in advance. Now, normally what we would be doing in June is we would be attending TNA, the National Needle Arts Association trade show. This happens every June, it happens every January, and it is the place where everybody goes to meet, to talk about yarn, to network, to do orders for different seasons and things like that. And this is the show that we would normally be attending. But this year, the scheduling just didn't work out. And so it just so happens that it's very unfortunate that, you know, with the timing of end of school for many of us who have kids at the studio, and then some of our team members have to go out and have to travel during that time, it was not possible for all of us to go and attend TNA this year. So what we thought is that maybe perhaps instead we could still find a way to do a little bit of a show and tell and let you know what we have available for fall. And we wanted to kind of open it up to everybody. So rather than just talking purely directly just to yarn shop owners, we thought that maybe it would be fun to talk to everybody in our knitting community and show you sort of everything that we're doing for fall. Now, my message here is actually one very important thing. I'm going to be showing you lots and lots of things that we're going to be coming out with for this fall. You know, different patterns like, you know, this sweater pattern, different mini-skein sets that we have, new yarns that we have, new colors that we have, all of these things. And I'm telling everybody, both yarn shop owners and individual knitters. Now, if you are a knitter and you are interested in any of the things that I have shown today, I would very much like for you to go to your local yarn shop and tell them and ask them to place an order with us to provide these yarns to you at your local yarn store. Now, I understand that not everybody has a local yarn store, not everybody has somewhere convenient where they can go and buy yarn, and for that, that's totally fine, and that's why we have an online store. And so these yarns will be available later on in August. But I wanted to mention this first. This is the reason why we're putting this video together. It's to show you everything that we have and to encourage you to go and visit your local yarn shop. Okay, so with that message out of the way, let's go on to all the new things that we have planned for fall. The very first thing is a couple of new yarns that we've come out with, and they are in this kind of umbrella category that I'm calling the In Your Dreams yarn. For the past year or so, I've been asking knitters in our community to basically email me directly and tell me specifically what they would like to see in the yarn of their dreams. What is it that you want? And you know, for the most part, a lot of people are saying, oh, you know, I want silk blends, I want cashmere blends, I want yak, I want all these wonderful, soft and squishy and wonderful things. And then there's another big chunk of people who are specifically asking for different wool blends, you know, wools that are sheep specific, breed specific, those kinds of things. And also very specifically non-superwash is a choice as well. And so we have been taking all of this feedback, collating it, bringing it together, and trying to find a good solution, a good new yarn brace to bring out to you guys. And so what we've come out with is a yarn that we're calling BFL and Silk DK. So you can see I have a couple of skeins of this here. So this is just a quick preview of our BFL and Silk DK yarn. It's obviously DK weight yarn, it's 3-ply, it's made with BFL Blueface Luster wool and silk. It is actually a 75-25 blend. So 75% wool, 25% silk. And we have made this a non-superwash base. So these yarns, they just feel like the perfect sweater yarn. They feel cozy and comfortable and warm. And we used to do a BFL sock yarn that was really great. It just was very woolly, and we took that off, but this is something that we're bringing back. I do love BFL. So this is one of the things that we're doing. And because it's kind of an experiment, we're looking at customer feedback and we're looking at what you guys want. And so we're doing this as a bit of an experiment to see. And so for that reason, we've decided not to necessarily do every single color that we do. We've picked a palette, a limited palette of about 10 colors. And so this yarn will come in about 10 colors. There's like a full range of neutrals. So there's a whole bunch of sort of browns and beiges. We also have it available in sort of the cooler neutrals. So these are a whole bunch of different grays. And then we also have a couple more colors here. There's also going to be a blue color, but all of these, they're very, in some ways, very earthy looking, very ochre looking. Yeah, these ones are going to be really fun. So this is one of the yarns in the In Your Dreams sort of collection. The other yarn that we're coming out with for this In Your Dreams collection is, again, a BFL yarn that also has some silk in it. This one, it happens to be an 85 and 15 blend. So 85% superwash BFL and 15% Tessa silk. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a crinkly appearance with a shine and shimmer, and it does look a little bit silky, but it is very, very soft. I've actually been using this yarn in a lot of weaving now and taking this yarn, using it as weft, and it just works so beautifully. And we're also doing this in a limited palette of colors. The colors are going to be listed and available, but there is about 10 or 12 colors that we're doing in this particular yarn as well. So those are the new yarns. There is one DK weight, one heavy lace weight, and they are all BFL and silk. Different variations of BFL and silk, but they are BFL and silk. Something woolly, something silky. It's going to be nice. The next thing that I am super excited about is our Party of Fives. So this year we came out with 3 new Party of Fives. These Party of Fives are basically our mini-skein sets. In the past, they've sometimes been ombre sets, gradient sets. We've also done some like mixed up color sets and things like that in the past. This year, our Party of Fives are a gradient, but it's a gradient across all 3 Party of Fives. So basically they're all very jewel toned, they're rich, and there's a richness and a depth of color that I'm just really super excited about. But basically it goes from an ochre golden kind of color through to a rusty red, through to purples, through to teals, and to greens. And if you lay out all 3 of these Party of Fives end to end, it produces an entire full spectrum. If you use them, they could make an entire color wheel. It's I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited about the ability to take 3 Party of Fives that are all one big gradient and put them into one big project. Maybe it goes into one big blanket or one giant shawl or some kind of a project. We do obviously have many patterns coming out this fall, many of which are using the Party of Fives, the gradient effect. So one of them is this sweater pattern, which uses a gradient in both the color work at the sleeves and the color work detail here and the color work yoke. This is all one Party of 5 held double and then mixed together with a Mohair Silk DK as the base. There's also a couple of other patterns here, like this hat pattern here that uses one Party of 5 gradient and mixes up the colors row by row by row for this crocheted hat. There's also another one which is using that same Party of 5. This one happens to be a crocheted hat. Actually, they're both crocheted hats, but this one is very, very different effect. And then here we have another crocheted project that also happens to be using one of the Party of 5s. This one is very, very jewel toned. So you can see this is one of the Party of 5 sets. This is the one that we're calling Gemstone. And then we also have one that is all purples to teal. So this one, purples to teals, and then one that is all greens. So these greens work up so beautifully. They're like very emerald. It's very emeraldy. So these new party fives are one of my most favorite things for this season. They could be used individually, they could be used together as 2 sets together or 3 sets all together to make one much bigger project. There's lots and lots of possibilities with that particular idea, you know, just being able to have one big 15 mini skein long gradient. So the next thing that we have is new colors. Now, one of the things that we'd mentioned a couple of years ago is that we culled our colors from, I don't know, like almost 300 colors. We culled it down to about 80 colors, 80 core colors. So there was like no repeats. It was just very clear. It was a very distinct palette that we're calling our core collections, like a signature palette. Then every season, what we were going to do is we release seasonal colors, just colors that are exclusive for that season, and they're available for 1 year. So we've been doing this for a couple of years now. Now for this fall, we wanted to go in the complete opposite direction of what we did with the spring and summer yarns. Spring and summer was, you know, sparkly and bright, and it was like sorbet and like, it just felt like grapefruit sparkler. To me, everything about spring colors felt like grapefruit sparkler kind of colors. Now, fall, I very, very much wanted it to be about deep and dark and, you know, kind of like walking through dark woods, feeling very much like just dusky, smoky, those kinds of colors. You know, just walking through the woods in the evening, that kind of a feel. And so I'm going to show you the colors that we have planned for this fall. We have colors that are one of my most favorite colors. This one here is Arbutus. This is like browns and rich reds. There's a little bit more contrast than a lot of the other brown colors that we've ever done. So it's very much like if you've ever been to Vancouver and seen an arbutus tree. Arbutus trees are very prevalent here, but they have this rich red bark that curls and kind of like exposes other colors of the tree underneath. And so that rich red bark that's peeling off, that's kind of like what this skein feels like to me. Very excited about this color. We also have some other colors here, like this one is Trinket. This is kind of along the lines of one of my favorite colors, Mulberry. Very much, I love these purpley plum colors. And then we have a couple of colors in the middle here that are very interesting. They are in some ways a little bit similar, but when you lay them out side by side, they are still quite different. And so they go by the name Illusion, Shadow, and Evening. Overall, each one of these colors, when you knit them up, they have an overall different feeling and effect. One is definitely more green, one is definitely more purple, one is definitely more blue. They could be mixed together, they could be used separately, but they just seem to have this feeling of colors moving in and moving out of this smoky veil kind of feel. Last but not least, this is one of my most favorite colors as well. This is called Lichen, and it's kind of like a murky, mossy green. There's some browns in there, some mustards in there, some olives, some deeper greens, but I'm in love with this color. And there's just so much movement and interplay between these. Now, one of the things that I did was I could not help myself from starting a project with all of these colors. And so these 6 colors for fall, this is what I used in my hand-woven scarf project that I show in the Rigid Heddle class. So basically I took each of these yarns and I put a stripe of each of these colors into the warp, and then I wove it all together with another yarn. I used the merino silk lace as a weft to bind it all together, and the color that I used was ultraviolet, which is a deep, deep purple, but you could use any color, and I could just see taking these colors and crossing it with another mossy green, or crossing it with a brown color, crossing it with a fuchsia color, and I wonder what that would do. You know, just there's so many things that you could do with just these 6 colors all together. So with these new 6 fall colors coming out, that means that last year's fall colors will be going away, and so colors like chocolate chili and apple pie and pine tree, those colors are going to be headed out. So if those are yarns that you would like, then those will be available until August 31st. Now, one fun thing that we've been doing for the past couple of months is we've been making sock blanks. I love sock blanks. I think sock blanks are the coolest thing, but these are our sock blanks. This is basically a piece of fabric that has been pre-knitted. So it's basically our undyed yarn that's been knitted into a piece of fabric, and then we take that knitted fabric and then we dye the fabric. Then when you get the sock blank, it looks like this. So this is a sock blank that has been knitted as a tube. And so you can see that the end here is unraveling. And the way that you work with a sock blank is basically you unravel it, and as you unravel it, you knit it up into your next project. So you could take this, unravel it, and as you're knitting it, you knit it into a pair of socks, or you knit it into a shawl. This one is designed to be sort of like one long gradient going from this color to this color to this color to this color. So it's most suitable for knitting into something like a big long shawl or an asymmetrical shawl, top down, triangle shawl. All of those kinds of shawl projects would work really, really well with a sock blank like this. We have taken one of these sock blanks and wound it entirely into a ball, so you can see the progression of the colors. So this is what it looks like when it's been wound into a ball. It won't come like this, it comes like this, but it's basically super fun to do. So absolutely, you can knit this into a pair of socks. It is sock weight. But because of the way that the color has been applied, if you were to knit this into socks, you would get one sock that's mostly this pink and white, and another sock that's mostly this white and sort of mauvey brown color, rosy brown color. So you would have totally fraternal socks, but if you're fine with that, that's what you could do with this yarn. But otherwise, it does make a really, really cool shawl project. One of the things that I'm going to be doing in an upcoming class for the School of Sweet Georgia is to take a sock blank and to make it into a hand-woven scarf or a shawl. I just think that there's lots of really cool things you can do with taking a gradient like this and putting this into the warp, or taking a gradient and putting it into the weft. So many things you can do. So this project, this colorway is called At the Ballet. And the way that we're doing the sock blanks is we're doing one color at a time. So we dye a whole bunch of this one particular color, and then they'll be available for 1 month at a time. So these ones are going to be available just for the month of July. So now later on this summer, you guys will be seeing that we're going to be doing our mystery knit along again. So Sweet Georgia has been hosting a mystery knit along for, I think this is going to be the 3rd year, maybe the 4th year, 3rd year, I think it is. But we're going to be doing a new mystery knit along, and that starts on August the 27th. It's going to run for 6 weeks this year. It's going to take 5 skeins of sock yarn. So it could be 5 skeins of Tough Love sock, be 5 skeins of bulletproof sock. We have put together a whole bunch of color combinations, and they've been available on our website for pre-order since June the 4th. So there's absolutely plenty of time to decide, which colors you want to put together for your mystery project and to still get those yarns. So those are all available. We're going to start August 27th, it's going to go for 6 weeks. And then sometime at the end of October, the pattern for the Mystery Knit Along project will become public and available to everyone. So yes, if you guys would like to join along with the Mystery Knit Along, just be sure to get your yarns together, your color combination of 5 skeins together, and then you can find our blog posts on our website, and it will give you all the details about how to join the MCAL when it finally comes along. Now, further ahead, after August, we have all of our fall collection designs coming out. And so in the fall, we always do a collection called Fall with Sweet Georgia. And this year, there's going to be 11 knitting projects and 5 crochet projects. It's a really, really big collection of patterns. There are some beautiful, beautiful projects. So one of my favorites, obviously, since I'm wearing it, is this sweater here with the color work yoke. I'm really, really enjoying that. And then there's also, a bunch of other color work projects. Like this one is a color work cowl that's coming up. This one is in the worsted weight. And we also have another color cowl. This one with the chevrons, very, very sweet. And then we have another hat and mitt set here that I accidentally previewed a couple weeks ago. But this is a beautiful, beautiful hat pattern and mitt set that comes together. You can make these together. This pattern is designed by Deborah Newton. So yes, and there's a whole bunch of crochet patterns. So like these ones, these are the crochet mitts that go along with a crochet hat. These ones are done out of those party of 5 mini-skein sets. There are many, many patterns coming. I'm not going to show you all of them here. We're going to do another preview where we go through all of the patterns at a later date. But these are the new patterns that are coming out for fall. And so they are all going to start to release around the beginning of September. So that is basically it for our seasonal preview. This is all the stuff that's coming this fall. We're very, very excited about fall. I'm very excited just to be able to start using these party of 5s because I've been wanting to show them for so long, and now I can finally tell you about them, and then I can finally start to use them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Now, if you are a yarn shop owner and you find any of this interesting, please do reach out to us and we can help you with getting any of these items into your shop. Shops can order all of these items right now. If you are a knitter, an individual knitter, and you are interested in any of these things, I encourage you to go to your local yarn shop owner and talk to them about bringing our yarns into your shop and having it available to you locally. We're saying this all to really, really encourage you to support your local yarn shop. Now, again, like I said at the beginning, if you don't have a local yarn shop, you can still always rely on us. We will have these yarns available, but they won't be available until August in order to order. All of these yarns will begin shipping at the beginning of August, except for the sock blank. The sock blank is available in July. So that is it for today. I am very excited to be able to have this opportunity to make a video like this for you. When we were saying how devastated we were about not being able to attend TNA and go to the trade show, we were just wondering to ourselves, well, how do we get the message out? How do we talk to people? How do we communicate with people? And it is just simply amazing that we have this ability to have conversations with you guys online. I can show and tell, we can have conversations. I'm just very, very thankful for your support. Thankful that you guys watch these videos every Friday. Thankful that you use our yarns, that you're interested in what we're making and what we're doing here. So thank you guys so much for supporting us for so many years. It's been almost 14 years now that we've been doing this. So I absolutely appreciate every single one of you guys. Every time you leave a comment, I read every single comment. Every time you send me an email, I read every single email. My fingers are literally not fast enough to reply to every single email, but I do read every single one. So thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this content, please do hit the like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please do hit subscribe. We're going to start making these seasonal videos twice a year, every year, so that way we can share what we're doing with you. You can find out information about any of these things on our website at SweetGeorgiaYarns.com. Thank you from myself and from the entire team at Sweet Georgia. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next one. All right, bye for now.